When you're driving away from the No Jumper studio after that, I just want to do the full autopsy before we talk about anything else. Was the vibe weird in the car with Rain City Kitty? Because I felt like, you know, the narrative he was trying to put out there was basically that he had clowned you so hard that it was this like massive embarrassment in front of your
nothing
bitch.
that he was saying was valid, and she's there with me all the time.
Right.
So she's going to have the same perspective I got, which is like nothing that you're saying is real.
Right.
So like, okay.
She wasn't impressed.
No, she wasn't impressed. The Dusty SP's always try to talk to her while she's working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that wasn't nothing new. That's why, like, even he said or something like, nigga came across my tail, I got him like I would on the street or some shit. Like, it was just some regular ass shit. But you're doing some street shit in a podcast setting.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, you have a certain way that you do stuff, but, like, I feel like you should keep street shit on some street shit and podcast shit.
Right.
And that's where blending it gets views, but it gets all kinds of shit fucked up.
But that's like the crazy thing with him is that he was able to get so many views and so much attention off of that shit for a while. And
it's
then,
a controlled environment, though.
Right, but then it turned into like, you know, people being able to see through it very easily. Like it didn't really have that much of a
saw
shelf
through
life.
it right away.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody's not necessarily as quick as me. Not trying to be like, oh, I'm smart or whatever, but I'm a pretty sharp guy.
How much did that change your life? Like that going viral and millions of people
I'm gonna
seeing
be real
it?
with you. It kind of did change a lot of shit for multiple reasons in multiple ways. But one of the things is like, because he cut me off so much, a lot of people ended up hitting me up. Like, I wanted to know what you had to say.
Right.
What's the digital pivot?
It
What
made
is
you
the digital
sympathetic.
pivot?
Like anybody who was watching it might not have given a fuck, but that, like I felt for you. Like, damn, like this poor bastard, like just getting yelled at like that.
See,
like
I didn't even see it like that when it was happening. Like people's like perception of it. I wasn't like, I was just like, honestly, the whole time, gears was just firing. Like, okay, what can I make him say next? What can I make him? Okay, just what'll get the people going? Because this is my first podcast I ever did.
Right.
So I was just like, okay, I'm trying to make it go as viral so I can do stuff after this or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But so many people hit me up after. And my boy Flick, shout out this hat. He made this hat. He told me like, yo, this game that you got, because I put him on to everything I was talking about. And this nigga's made like $500,000+ off the shit. So then he was like, yo, you helped me make a bunch of money. You can tell other people, you know what I'm saying? You could, all the shit that they're asking, they're over here asking you what's the digital pivot, give it to them. So then I started a coaching course, digital pivot coaching program, and I made some money off that. You know what I'm saying? And not even like doing that to make money off of it, but I got to help a lot of people make a lot of money. So like that was a good thing about it, is like the fact that he cut me off and left there to be something else to be said, made it to where I can sell what I was gonna say, because I was finna let it spill. I was gonna say a whole lot of shit that was gonna make a whole lot of money.
But he was not gonna allow that situation to take place where you are actually like saying something that sounds logical and impressive in any way.
It makes him look stupid in that regard. It makes him look behind, because he is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, get with the times. If there's better ways, one of the things about the game, if there's a better way, you gotta either adopt it or beat it. You know what I'm saying? It's real chess out here. So like I found that way on, now I'm not gonna say on accident, but I got forced into it to where it was like the clubs got shut down, restaurants got shut down. I did some shit, it got a little tricky, and it was like, nah, I'm a sit down. I popped hella Adderall, and then first month that I took it seriously, because we was doing it for like 6 months before that. And I had like 2 other bitches. I dropped them off when the pandemic happened. And then first month it was like 1,800. Then the next month was 5,000. So then I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm onto something. So then the next month, and like I say, I apply that same thing. If there's game that you don't know or there's some new shit happening, you better adopt it or beat it. So then I started seeing what other people was doing and was like, I got to either do that or make my own version of that. So then the next month after that, I made 11,000. I was like, okay, this might be the way. Next month, I made 25,000. I was like, okay, this is really the way, because I'd just be on that motherfucker. I'd stay up like 2 days in a row off the Addies.
Doing what exactly?
Everything that needs to happen about it. So you gotta like you say, like for promotion, you could do a bunch of antics and shit. I wasn't doing no antics. So I was just doing cross promotion with girls. I go on Twitter, do retweet groups, drop groups on Telegram, do drop groups on Telegram by promo. do shout out for shout outs, all that shit, right? And then I was just doing that. That's what turned it up to 25K. I was hitting like kind of a ceiling for a second. And then I started doing like a free sub model. Okay. And then that jumped it up to like 30K or like 35.
How's the business these days?
It's great.
It's still solid?
Wait,
how many girls you got?
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. And then after that, I started making like 60K a month. Okay. When I started going to the free model and shit, like 60, 70K and shit like that. And then from there, I was just like, I'm smooth. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm never looking back. Why the fuck would I ever go send a bitch to go actually have somebody have to touch them?
Risk her life.
Risk her life. Right. Risk my life. Because I'll fuck around and get 25 for that motherfucking shit. Yeah. Why would I do that if I could sit on my motherfucking couch and make 3 bands today?
Right. No, yeah.
Why the fuck would I do that? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. You could have been coaching him, ironically.
Man, I should be. What the fuck are we talking about? It's the Tabernacle. Come on now.
How much of a relationship did you guys have after that? Like, how much did you guys talk after that?
We didn't talk for a minute. Then once it hit 1 mil, I posted something and like tagged him. But I didn't say nothing derogatory, but this nigga called me at like 2 a.m, like, was like beefing. But then I learned from the first time, so I ain't let this nigga talk over me. I was like, nigga, da-da-da-da. I started dropping the phone and shit and like yelling at this nigga. And he was like, oh, say, Padawan or whatever the fuck. I was like, mini me. So he's like, you bet you won't ever let nobody talk over you again, huh?
Did you guys ever discuss doing another podcast after that?
We did. That one, okay, so when I talked to him, he said like, you'll never be at No Jumper again. Fuck that nigga's voice, man.
I'll do a number on you, yeah.
And then sound like you gotta take a shit so bad. So then we talked again, and he was like, okay, we'll do one. We'll talk about where you been, where you at, and where you going. And we'll do it like around August or some shit. So then we were supposed to do that, and then he didn't do that. He said he got busy or something. We were supposed to do another one, and he didn't do that. And then he hit me up again later on, said we was gonna do one. Then we didn't do that. I was just like, whatever, like, when are we gonna do it? And then eventually we ended up having a conversation on this nigga's live, Raw Talks live. And then I was kind of drunk and I was just kind of going off. And I was just like, nigga, I'm the realest nigga in the room because I said, everything I said that I was gonna do, I did it. And you said that you was gonna do shit and you ain't do it. I do everything I'm finna say. I'm very, very like, about integrity. I don't like it when people say they're gonna do stuff, they don't do it. And I don't like doing that myself.